Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Horror Debate. I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff.
And every now and again we find a movie that basically like nobody's heard of, and we watch it on like a premium channel, and it turns out to be halfway decent. This is our review of Dead End, an independent film done in 2003, directed by Jean-Baptiste Andrea and Fabrice Canepa, starring Ray Wise.
And you can get this on DVD too. So
right.
This isn't one of those.
Well, we weren't so
weird...
lucky or unlucky, but actually, story-wise, this thing is actually kind of cool.
What's the story?
The story is a family taking a vacation, and it was a family of four? Family of four plus the boyfriend of the daughter, right? So you had 5 people in the Jeep Cherokee. And
on Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve, and
going to grandmother's house.
Is that where they were going?
Yeah.
I didn't think. Yeah, I
And
didn't.
Dad decided he wanted to get off the interstate and take a little mountain road.
That's right.
Shortcut.
That's right.
And it's the road that never ends.
The road that never ends. And this story is an absolute trip. Basically, they had an accident, right, Mike?
Almost an accident.
Almost an accident, and started having sightings of this woman in white.
Yes, it wanted to be a Twilight Zone episode, and I think maybe M. Night Shyamalan might have passed on this story. Because this definitely had his fingerprints written on it.
This wasn't the lady in the water, but it was the lady in white. Yeah.
Close enough,
and, it was pretty cool the way they did it. I'm sure everybody's kind of felt that feeling of desolation when they're lost, especially, you got your whole family there, and I've even experienced this on a much smaller scale where I just kind of go off the beaten path and, we'll get there,
Oh, I do it all the time, but I always usually carry a map, and I usually know where the heck I'm going.
Yeah.
And also...
Well, he had a map.
Yeah, but...
he had the map. They just couldn't find the places that were showing up on the sign.
But a couple of times while I've been driving on these mountain roads, and I see this lady in white by the side of the road with this big gash on her forehead, and you know what? I never stopped.
Well, actually, the funny thing was when the first time they saw her, and she was actually there at the driver's side window, and he's asking her, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to so-and-so?
Well, he stopped, though. He stopped.
Yeah, okay.
Every time they stopped.
But she split wide open on her freaking forehead, and he's not even worried about that. He's just saying, hey, can you help us get to where we're going, Yeah.
Actually, the writing in this was really crisp. The writing is what definitely kept me awake during this one.
Yeah.
The insults, the brother and sister went back and forth, and...
that brother was funny. Brother was funny. Oh, he was great. But this is something that I would expect almost like this. Almost felt like a extended Tales from the Crypt episode in a lot of ways.
A Twilight Zone.
In a lot of ways, but done very tastefully, I thought overall, and the acting was pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
I called Ray Wise as soon as we saw his name pop up on the movie. I said, "Oh man, the king of bad acting." No, the king of bad movies. That's what it was. The king, not bad acting.
And the mom from Detroit Rock City is
That's
in
right.
it.
That's right. And they were all fairly good in this.
Yeah.
This is a good one if you're up real late at night, which we actually are right now.
Yeah.
And you're watching the premium channels. This thing was on, I believe, one of the Showtime channels.
Or you might find this at the DVD store in the bargain bin.
Yeah. And it was worth the time to watch it. It's about 90 minutes worth. I think so.
It was kind of like a one of those Stephen King movies that they make out of his short stories.
Yeah, but not horror in the truest sense of the word, but
very Twilight Zone. Very
Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt-ish. A solid 90 minutes of good storytelling. It was a little boring in parts because they got a little talky.
Yeah.
But this wasn't something for gore or anything. This was just kind of for scares. And
no gore in this. All the gore was off camera.
Right. It was all implied, which sometimes is better than actually showing it, in my opinion.
And the lady in white did take her dress off, but only for a brief second, and it was from the backside.
Right. So I was tripping off the dead baby. She gets in the vehicle, they pick her up, they're trying to help her out. The father finally figures out that she's got this gash on her head, that obviously she's been in some sort of accident. She's carrying a baby. He makes his own daughter. Well, he didn't make her. She kind of wanted to walk, right? Yeah.
We'll pick up this hitchhiker, and I'll let my daughter walk back a couple of miles to the shack we saw back there.
Yeah, man. I didn't get that at all. I knew the daughter wanted to walk, but no way would I have ever allowed that with my kids.
And there were a couple of weird edits in this film, too. The guy's just making a simple U-turn. But they had 3 edits in there. It's just like left, oops, center, oops, right, now done. What? Wait a second.
Well,
What the
yeah.
heck was that
and
for?
I'm not sure even what the point was of that.
No.
You know, it didn't add anything. I don't know.
It saved a whole 3 seconds of running time.
Well,
is what it
hey,
did.
man, our time is precious, as we know here at the Horror Debate. You know,
I don't know.
You know, I'm going to give this one. You know, you're probably going to disagree with me on this one, but I'm actually going to give this one 3 out of 5.
Okay.
The reason I'm doing that is because, as you said, the writing was pretty solid, and I wasn't all that bored. You know, I mean, even with a talky kind of movie as this was, I think because we've all been in similar situations like this, you can kind of relate to it a little bit of being lost, and you know, like I said, you got your whole family with you. It's kind of a scary experience. You're on this road that just seems to never end. There's signs popping up about towns that don't exist on the map, and you apparently never get there because you just keep driving, and the same stuff just kind of keeps showing up.
But I mean, this film wanted to give you a big surprise shock ending, but was it really that big of a surprise or shock?
No. It was a little weird,
To-
though. I'm not even sure that I understood it completely. There were some. I don't know. I think they were trying to go into a different place with the ending, you know, than what I had envisioned anyway. But I don't want to give it away, of course. But you know, it was the dude from. I said it when we were watching it. The dude from Crossing Jordan, man. The one of the doctors.
Guy with the bad hair.
With the bad hairdo, man. He was in there. You know, and he's a good actor, actually. I actually love that.
He only had 2 lines, though.
2 lines, so what?
Basically,
it was all right.
basically in the epilogue.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. We were talking about the gore and everything, and how it was all implied. I mean, you knew what happened to these folks pretty much, but
Yeah,
you just
right off the bat.
never showed it. So but that's cool, and I actually dug that. It worked for this movie, and 3 out of 5, Mike.
Yeah, I was kind of bored with this. To me, it was like a glorified TV movie. For some reason, Stephen King books don't seem to translate too well, and to me, this was as if I was watching one of those short stories. It just didn't do it for me. And,
I can see that.
It looked like a TV movie, and
Yeah.
and the big shock really didn't shock me or surprise me. I knew what was going to happen. Come on, it wasn't that you know.
Yeah, I think they were trying to reach a little deeper than what this movie would allow.
I did like the writing, though. The writing was kind of crisp. I'll give it a 1.
A 1, okay. So a 3 and a 1.
Yeah. I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll see you next week at the Horror Debate.